Good morning on this finally Friday, March 7th. Welcome to Breakfast with Bridgett here on News 6 Plus, clickorlando.com, and our YouTube channel. I'm Bridgett Ellison. It's great to be with you. It is a TGIF, and especially here because it's Employee Appreciation Day. And there are Jeff's Bagels here. There is a coffee cart here. There are donuts here, and we are so excited. So I have a bagel over here I'll be eating while Candace is talking. So we're going to get over to Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos, and she's back in the Weather Center. Have you been out here? Have you seen the spread yet?
I have not, but I can smell it.
Jeff's Bagels.
I can smell the aroma of Jeff's Bagels. I love me some Jeff Bagels. Oh my gosh. All right, so let's wrap this up. Sorry, I can toss it to Steve so that way I can then go eat. All right, let's talk about the satellite radar composite. It's a beautiful start across Central Florida today. It's a bit on the chilly side. Temperatures right now in those 30s and 40s as we have a big ridge of high pressure in control, and that's going to continue to stream in that nice north breeze for a few hours. Then into the afternoon, we'll have more return flow off the ocean, and that's going to start kicking those temperatures back up into those 70s. But out the door right now, don't be surprised. You walk out, you go, it's cold out there. Right now, we're in those upper 30s in areas of Marion and Wildwood. We're at 36 degrees. Areas in and around Orlando at 49, 48 degrees currently right now. They're in Cocoa Beach. But as we take here hour by hour, a great looking beach forecast today and tomorrow. That breeze has weakened considerably, making it feel a lot nicer along our coastline. Temperatures right now are going to continue to warm into those 70s this afternoon. Then later on tonight, we're going to continue that cooling trend for one more day. Not as chilly as this morning, but still feeling nice and cool for you early risers, for those crazies who like to do 5Ks first thing in the morning. I'm talking about Crystal. And then temperatures are going to be rebounding back into the 80s as we head into your Saturday afternoon. So as we look here at your rain chances, as of now, the weekend looks pretty dry, most of Saturday and even most of Sunday. As of right now, a lot of our models are picking up some of that rain coming in late in the day Sunday, early Monday morning. So we're going to continue to track this. Notice I stopped the clock. This is Sunday at 10 p.m. You can see areas of Flagler, Marion County could be in the mix with some of that rain, but the majority of Central Florida won't really feel a lot of that rain and even a few thunderstorms in the forecast until early Monday morning. That is where kind of the timing continues to hover around. So if we get some overnight rain, that's certainly beneficial, but just do be aware as you are heading to work and school Monday morning, we might have to dodge a little bit of rain in the forecast. And as you get results here with your full 7-day forecast, back into the 80s Saturday and Sunday. Don't forget, we need to move that clock ahead 1 hour as you go to bed. Saturday night and into Sunday is officially moving into daylight saving time. And then by the time we head into Monday afternoon, Tuesday, we're right back into those 70s. So really nice stretch of weather. Hopefully we can get most of this rain on Sunday and into Monday throughout the overnight, really not impacting many folks. That might actually be the best plan. But I just, a quick moment to remind everybody about daylight saving. Right now, our sunrises are happening around 6:45-ish, 6:42 by Sunday. And so when we're talking 7:41 in the morning on Monday, it's still going to be dark out there. Sunrise is not going to be poking its head over the horizon till about 7:41 on Monday. This time of the year, it's always a good reminder to change those batteries in your smoke detectors. That's always a good little thing to remember, as well as us now moving into more of the rainier season over the next couple of months. This is the time where we are now allowed officially to water our lawn 2 days out of the week rather than during the winter where it's only once a week, Bridgett.
Yeah, that helps out. And like you said, a good reminder about those daylight versus dark hours and that difference that we'll feel, and probably a little groggy too for the next couple of weeks until we adjust. So hopefully everyone will be careful out there in those school zones too, especially.
It will be dark for a little longer on Monday.
But a really nice weekend, at least.
Yeah,
Even
hopefully we can get most of that rain. I think Arnold Palmer Invitational should be good to go. The winds died down again for today's rounds. Saturday looking good, and most of Sunday, whatever's left of the Invitational should be okay.
Yeah, good to go. All right, Candace, thanks so much. See you in a
You're
little bit.
welcome. Bye.
I want to get a check of traffic this morning. Things hopefully a lot better than yesterday. And Trooper Steve is there standing by. And did you get your sesame bagel yet? I know you like sesame.
Not yet. Not
Okay,
yet. We
there's
got
a few
those
in
cut-ins, and Candace and I are locked in on this desk right until we're done with breakfast with you, and then we'll
I
get
can
the real
grab one
stuff.
for you.
But
Okay.
I'm sure if Lake Mary is watching these streams, they're going to be all over me here in a second because Candace is just, laying out all the rules and regulations when it comes to watering your grass. But
Uh-oh.
let me give you a little secret. Let me give you a secret. So if you leave like I do at 3:30 in the morning, you just double click it. Nobody knows. It's all good. I'm gonna get in trouble. But no, make sure that you guys are watering your stuff and properly out there because Candace is gonna get you if that's the case. But no, we're doing much better than we were yesterday, Bridget, when it came to the roadways. What a day we had yesterday when it came out
Mm-hmm.
there. We had a bunch of crashes. It was a mess. But today, much, much better. So let's go to our roadways and see how they're doing. Right now, Florida Turnpike is the only area where I'm catching a brief slowdown. And the issue was because of some late construction. So we don't normally see the delays northbound, which is a good thing. So it's just a random run-in is what we're dealing with this morning. Outside of that, not too bad, especially once you get a little closer. But if you're traveling out here or if you live out here, understand that this is an active construction zone all the time. Sky 6 has landed, so I gave you color bars. My apologies there. And then eastbound I-4, of course, we're slow out by the attractions, but nothing crazy. 36 minutes from Champions Gate to the downtown area, which makes me feel nice and easy for a Friday. And then coming in from Volusia County, we're not seeing that westbound delay, at least not this morning, out by the Deltona area as you begin to enter Lake Mary, Sanford. How's 417 looking? We're looking pretty decent this morning out by Lake Nona. Good morning to my folks down there. Great area if you're looking for something to do this weekend. Always something out in the Lake Nona area, and then our beach is looking good. But Bridget, with all this talk about daylight savings time, I gotta show
Mm-hmm.
my girl. This is what we're all. Oh, I had just popped up a picture of Margaret right there. We
Oh, look
go.
at her.
This is what I'm gonna look like. I'm gonna look like her come Sunday morning. Oh
Is that
my
her
gosh,
spot?
that
That's her
hour
spot,
always
isn't
messes up.
it?
That's her spot right there. She just crawls up in that spot. I sleep on the other side, and even when the wife's home, she sleeps
She looks
right
like, don't
there.
talk to me until I've had my coffee.
That's her, 100%, 100%, Bridget. She even has the eye roll mastered, like those
Side
doodles.
eye.
They're little humans inside of them. It's
Mm-hmm.
insane.
Yeah.
And it was cool because yesterday too, I got to hang out with some dogs. So you guys want to make sure you head to
Yeah.
clickorlando.com. Make sure you watch that stream because it was so much fun. Belle and Duchess, they're
Mm-hmm.
11 months old, and they're actual sisters. So I learned that yesterday, which was really, really cool. They came from the same litter. And now they're going to be patrolling the streets of the city of Kissimmee for at least 5 to 6 years before they have to
Wow.
retire. So that's going to be
That's
pretty
so
cool.
interesting that they can be trained so young at just, less than a
Yep.
year old and they're already fully trained and ready to work.
Ready to go. And these dogs were different because they were in partnership with the Senior Resource Alliance. And what happened is these two dogs were fully funded and donated to the Kissimmee Police Department. They're going to be used for human detection, like
Mm-hmm.
Alzheimer's, autism, dementia, patients that go missing. And they are giving away, thank you for pulling that up. Appreciate that. They're going to be giving away these scent detection kits
Mm-hmm.
so that they're good for up to 10 years. And if you have someone at home that may have these type of tendencies,
Mm-hmm.
you can get one of these for free from any canine handler or the Kissimmee Police Department and just keep it at home for those just in case moments. So it'd be pretty cool to have that.
Yeah, everyone should have that, really. And so, what's up for today?
Today we're keeping it short and simple on a Friday. We're going to go hit an intersection that our morning EP tends to complain about a
All right.
lot. Goldenrod, Lake Underhill, 408. There's like 3 traffic lights within 100 feet, and it gets rather interesting there. So I'm going to
Mm.
go tackle that today. We'll drive it around, we'll talk about it, and then we'll call it a day for a Friday, and hope everyone have a good weekend.
I want you to meet up one day with the folks who do the light timers so we can learn about that because I've
Oh,
seen
maybe
that
we can get some
box.
traffic engineer in there.
Right.
I
That would be
like that
fun just to see
idea.
the behind the scenes. Because even don't you have access to those boxes as well, like in special occasions?
Yeah, they call that, it's funny. I don't know why they call it, but the key is called a pickle. And so it's a pickle and it unlocks the box, it plugs in, and then there's a switcher on it. And every time we click it, it goes to the next portion of the determined light. And we are able to override those boxes and those traffic lights for special events and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's a great idea because I think it gives people an insight to how these lights are programmed and scheduled rather than, oh, who's doing this stuff? No, there's a
Mm-hmm.
science behind it. So
Yeah.
I'm going to put that on my list.
Yeah, that'd be cool to see. I've always wanted to see inside one of those too. So, yeah. All right. Well, we'll see you a
We'll
little
check it
bit
out.
later. Look at those lights. I'm sure it's not fun,
All
but we'll
right.
see it. Thanks, Steve. All right, we unfortunately have some news to get to this morning. Not the news that we wanted to bring you, but we have learned that the missing persons case of Jesse Kirk, they did find remains. And so Titusville police say that they found her remains. And this was basically something that they have been trying to confirm. So we had heard a little bit about this yesterday, and then finally that breakthrough came that it was confirmed that they were the 72-year-old's remains. They found her car on fire on State Road 50. You may remember we reported that, and then the remains were found burned out just south of the Haulover Canal on the next day. But we had been waiting to hear from investigators until they had confirmed that. But they identified 35-year-old David Barber as a main suspect, and he was arrested near her condo, and he had burn injuries. You can see the bandages there on his arm there in court. Now, Kirk's niece has a protective order against him. This is her ex-boyfriend, Kirk's niece's ex-boyfriend.
This is a very, very active investigation, so we are scouring a ton of video, collecting a lot of statements. Our goal has been and will continue to be to bring justice and closure to Ms. Kirk's family during this incredibly difficult time.
And Barber is being called a person of interest. He's not been charged with Kirk's murder as police look through all the evidence. Investigators are asking if any of the photos and evidence that they've released can trigger a memory or any information for possible witnesses who may have seen something on Monday or Tuesday. They want you to call the crime line or let local authorities know if you know anything there in Titusville about the Jesse Kirk case or that vehicle, or if you saw Barber. Also new this morning, a twist in a case we've been following out of Orange County. New body camera footage revealing a twist in last month's deadly deputy-involved shooting. And deputies say that what happened is actually not matching up with the video from the body camera. It happened at a home on West Castle Street, and deputies said when they got there, they heard a man crying for help, and they believe that they saw a man with a knife holding another man in a headlock, and deputies told the seemingly armed man to drop the knife, and when he failed to do so, deputies opened fire.
Open the door. Hey, drop the knife. 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 Drop it. Drop it.
The man, 26-year-old Jose Lopez, died at the hospital. And the twist here is that no knife was found at the scene. And the man who was held in the headlock, 25-year-old Christian Contreras, is facing several charges, including burglary. The officers who opened fire are on paid leave while FDLE investigates. And an update this morning on Starship. Unfortunately, there was a mid-flight explosion after it lifted off from Texas yesterday. It is SpaceX's most powerful rocket, but now this is 2 explosions in a row, and there was debris raining down, so much so that it impacted the flight activity around Central Florida. And so News 6's Mark Lehman has more about what is next here and how SpaceX believes that they still are making progress.
What is that?
It happened again. A disintegrating rocket was seen streaking across the sky in the Caribbean and even here in Florida after SpaceX launched another test flight of its Starship Super Heavy rocket from Texas.
Whoa! Deerfield Beach, whoa!
With concerns over raining debris, the FAA put a temporary ground stop on several Florida airports, including Orlando International. Problems with the rocket started surfacing minutes after liftoff.
Clearly there was something wrong, and then moments later, a camera on the rocket showed it beginning to, I'll say, spin out of control.
There was a successful catch of the booster, but the rocket lost control after passing over the Gulf. The situation was similar to Starship's last launch on January 16th.
I think for people on the outside looking in, it is certainly a concerning thing to see 2 of these blow up in a row.
SpaceX issuing a statement in response to the explosion. The company saying in part, "We will conduct a thorough investigation in coordination with the FAA and implement corrective actions to make improvements on future Starship flight tests."
They can rapidly launch these vehicles, and assuming they can track down what went wrong, they will eventually work this out.
Lots of trial and error here, and also SpaceX not the only ones, because hours earlier, Intuitive Machines carried out its second lunar landing, but then lost contact with the spacecraft. The company says it doesn't believe the lander named Athena touched down correctly and may even be on its side. And it's the same thing that happened during its first landing attempt last year. Still, the company says it's making major progress.
We had every reason to believe that we were going to come down and land, with all systems the way we wanted to. We're trying to evaluate exactly what happened that very last bit.
Athena joins Blue Ghost as the second private lunar lander to touch down on the moon's surface just this week, and Firefly Aerospace landed its craft successfully on Sunday. Also, we are counting down to the next crewed launch for SpaceX, also preparing to welcome home 2 NASA astronauts who have been in space almost a year. The 4 members of Crew 10 are expected to arrive today at Kennedy Space Center around 2, and they'll make final preparations before they launch on Wednesday to the International Space Station. And when they get there, they'll swap places with Crew 9, and then Crew 9 and Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams will all ride home together on the Dragon capsule, and it's a long-awaited homecoming for them because they are the Boeing astronauts launched last year on Starliner, and of course so many problems with Starliner they had to stay at the ISS. They have been there about 9 months now, so looking forward to welcoming them home as well. We'll be following that. We're also following up on Rockledge Hospital and the community there begging for Orlando Health to keep that hospital open even though they are trying to close it. And leaders are also jumping in, trying to see if they can help out with some sort of negotiations to keep it open a little longer. But Orlando Health wants to close this facility because they say it is in bad shape and it would be much less funds to just close the whole thing rather than trying to renovate it. They say it's in disrepair. There was a special meeting last night and the city council passed a resolution calling on them to delay the plans for closure and for the state to possibly step in and help out.
You want to fire 940 people and throw them out of a job.
Governor DeSantis, I hope you hear me when I say this. Rockledge Regional Medical Center needs to stay open. We need your help to stop Orlando Health from closing us.
As it stands, the closure of Rockledge Hospital is planned for April 22nd. We're going to take a quick break. We will be right back. All right, welcome back. We want to tell you about some more top headlines this morning. Spring break is upon us. It is one of the most busy times of the year here around Central Florida with a big influx of millions of people and spring breakers and family members. So it is something that we're watching. But we also want to tell you about property insurance. That's something that we are watching right now. And our Robert Brewer has more on several bills and lots of things happening in the state when it comes to property insurance. Here's Robert.
The insurance industry is the most highly regulated industry in the world.
And former Florida Deputy Insurance Commissioner Lisa Miller says those regulations should promote competition.
We want to encourage as a state a vibrant, competitive, robust private market, which will bring prices down. Competition does that.
Our homeowners insurance market is seeing stability. 11 new companies have entered the market over the past year.
Governor DeSantis credits recent legislative actions for that stability and knows there's more to be done. But
what I'm not going to support is opening the floodgates for incentivizing more litigation. That will destabilize things. I think a lot of companies will leave.
Meaning any bills that might increase litigation will face a veto. As for the rest, what do you think the likelihood of any of them are to get passed?
It's going to be very difficult. You know, past sessions, bills like this are debated months before the session starts and committee meetings, and so the timeline is not so compressed. So, you know, I think some of these bills will just die on the vine.
Fewer bills passed might be a good thing in the eyes of current Insurance Commissioner Mike Yaworski. His office has already asked lawmakers to maintain the status quo this session and let previous reforms continue to work. Miller agrees.
The reforms that we've passed are working, and we've just got to be patient. And I think things will come to get us to a better place.
Robert Brewer, Getting Results, News 6.
All right, you can also check out more on that right there on clickorlando.com. Speaking of the governor, spring break is something that millions of people are starting to watch out for, is this increase of traffic. And the governor says he is sending state troopers to the hot vacation spots to crack down on any potential problems.
We owe it to the people that live here, we owe it to people that visit here to make sure that this is orderly and safe for everybody involved. So I'm directing state law enforcement agencies to provide the additional personnel and assets that are needed.
And so the governor says more than 100 Florida Highway Patrol troopers will be deployed to 12 different cities across the state, along with additional drones, K-9 units, and SWAT teams. Also this morning, President Donald Trump has issued yet another pause on sweeping tariffs for Canada and Mexico, this time covering goods listed in the trade deal that the president brokered with them during his first term. Now, meantime, federal job cuts are moving ahead, but with a new directive. CBS's Jared Hill has the latest.
President Donald Trump is taking a step back on tariffs.
It's just a modification, short term.
Thursday announcing a temporary pause on import taxes for goods listed in the U.S.-Mexico-Canada trade deal, brokered during his first term. In response, Canada announced a pause to its retaliatory tariffs. But Doug Ford, premier of the province of Ontario, is skeptical.
He said that before, and he switched his mind.
He says if President Trump doesn't drop the tariffs for good, he'll put a 25% tariff on electricity that Ontario sends to Minnesota, Michigan, and New York, starting Monday.
Last thing I want to do is turn out the lights. I'll put a tariff, but let's straighten this out.
President Trump is also shifting his tone on mass federal firings after a meeting with members of his cabinet and Elon Musk.
I want the cabinet members to keep good people. I don't want to see a big cut where a lot of good people are cut.
In a message posted on X, Veterans Affairs Secretary Doug Collins explained his department would shrink by 72,000 employees.
We'll be making major changes, so get used to it.
A new report says more than 62,000 federal jobs were cut in February, driven largely by Musk's Department of Government Efficiency. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Also this morning, the president considering an extension on the deadline for TikTok to be sold. President Trump said he'd probably push back the timeline if a deal isn't reached by the original deadline. Back in January, signed an executive order giving TikTok's Chinese parent company 75 days to find a new owner. He didn't specify how long an extension might be, but China's role in this decision is also up for negotiation. It comes after President Biden had signed a law demanding TikTok be sold or face a U.S. ban over worries of national security. We talked about it with Candace a little bit ago. Daylight saving time springing forward this weekend, losing that hour. Of course, sunrises and sunsets will be a little bit different. You might feel a little bit groggy. So we're looking at this with an expert. News 6's Angie Casada talked to someone about those potential dangers that come along with losing that hour.
AAA says the time change can disrupt sleep schedules, making drivers more tired and more likely to get into a crash.
This time change can have so many different effects on people, but it could also affect your ability to drive safely. So make sure that you're getting plenty of sleep and just be extra cautious while you're behind the wheel.
And with sunrise coming later, more kids will be walking to school in the dark, making those morning commutes even more dangerous. Beyond safety concerns, the bigger debate continues. Should we stop changing the clocks? For years, lawmakers have tried to make daylight saving time permanent.
Reduce crime as there's light later in the day. We've seen decreases in child obesity, a decrease in seasonal depression that many feel during standard time. And then the practical one, and then one that I've witnessed with my own eyes, in many parts of this country. Understand we're a country, we desperately want our kids to be outside, to be playing, to be doing sports.
Rubio's Sunshine Protection Act passed the Senate in 2022, but never made it through the House. And this year, Senator Rick Scott is reintroducing the effort to end the time change for good. For now, though, the tradition continues.
All righty, so we're going to spring forward this weekend, whether we like it or not, so get ready for that. Don't forget. This morning we have a great update from Disney's Animal Kingdom as some of their most beloved characters got a chance to meet up with Basco, the new tiger out there at Animal Kingdom. It was a special meetup, and one of the park's newest addition is right there. Disney's Pixar characters, Doug, Russell, and Carl, went out on a nature adventure to meet Basco, the tiger cub, an adorable Sumatran tiger cub, and his mom, Sunny. And we've told you before about how Basco is just winning hearts worldwide. You can see why, and he symbolizes Disney's partnership with the AZA to support endangered species. And there are less than 600 Sumatran tigers that are still left in the wild. So if you haven't had a chance, go out there and check out Basco, because he is growing up fast, and it's one of those things where you want to get out to Animal Kingdom early because they like to take those cat naps. So if you get out there too late, you might not be able to spot them because they're probably at a shady spot taking a little snooze. But definitely cute stuff there. Also, an update on a big honor for former Orlando Magic player Dwight Howard, and he is set to be inducted into the Orlando Magic Hall of Fame, and he was the first overall pick back in 2004's draft. He played 8 seasons and led the Magic to the 2009 finals. He also scored the team's all-time leading in points with more than 11,400 points. The induction ceremony is happening on March 24th at Kia Center, and a special honor during the Magic's game against the LA Lakers. So that'll be a nice moment there. Well, we're gearing up for, they call it, summertime, Christmas in summer. I don't know, but there's always something new coming out, and the International Toy Fair is going on, and these are toys that are no doubt going to be on a lot of lists this year because they always have the latest and greatest things. So you saw that panda there. It responds to things like touch and tickle. That Jurassic World egg hatches. You saw it hatching there. Retro toys are also making a comeback with Simon and the Skip It. So lots of fun to be had there. Most of the products at the show are expected to be on shelves this fall, so you have been forewarned about what will probably be on those lists coming up soon. Well, that's going to do it for us. We'll see you again at noon. Have a great day.